Welcome back to Antiques Central. Today we're going on a house call where we're going to look at the contents of an estate clearance, and I'm led to believe there's boxes full of antiques, vintage and collectibles. So let's head off and see how we get on. Well, it's a scorcher. It's almost 30 degrees in the UK, and trust me, that's hot for us here. And I think they forecast it's going to remain at this kind of temperature until about Saturday, and then the heavens are going to open, which hopefully will drop the temperatures down a bit. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I'm back from the client's house. I don't film when I make these visits because I think it's indiscreet, especially when you're going to an estate sale from a deceased relative, and that was the case with this particular visit. So I don't film deliberately, and it's just I know you'd probably like to see me going through it all, but I don't think it's fair on the customer. Right. The visit itself was actually quite successful, and I've come back with 4 big tubs of antiques, vintage and collectibles. I paid £150 for the job lot, and those of you who have been watching my channel for a while will know that I work on a 3-to-1 basis. So in other words, I will estimate the overall value of the job lot, in this case just by really looking at it initially as a job lot, and then I break it down into what kind of return can I get on it, and basically I use 1/3 purchase price, 1/3 to cover my overheads, and 1/3 profit. So I paid £150, so I'm hoping, well, the aim is to return £450 when I sell it. So when we go through the tubs, you can make up your mind whether I've shot myself in the foot or whether I'm going to make my return. I think it's touch and go, to be honest. The priority I always have is to cover my outlay, including the overheads involved in getting to the location. So as long as I can cover between 150 and 200, then that will cover my basic costs and the purchase price of the stock. But I won't really be making any money at all on it. Effectively, I'll have just cleared their house for nothing. Trust me, that's happened before, and it will happen again. And for those of you who are wondering, this is my new workspace, utility workshop area, and I haven't decorated it yet. That's why there's bare walls and a bit of filler. But it will be, what I'm planning on getting it all painted, decorated, and then do a reveal video, hopefully sometime in September, October. So that's something to look forward to, isn't it? Or maybe not. So let's have a look at the job lot that I picked up yesterday. Right, so here we go. We'll start with box number 1. Oh, it's heavy, but I'm not sure in this box there's a great deal of value. The one thing I do know, though, is that it is all antique or vintage or a collectible, so it will have some value. I've got to decide whether it goes onto my website, which is the antiquescentral.co.uk website, whether I'll send it off to Vintage Cash Cow, or whether I job lot some of this to a local pop-up auction. It'll definitely, in my opinion, be spread across all 3 options. I'll try and keep track as we go through the video and let you know what I'm planning to do with it. I'll also give you a rough estimate on what I think is the value of each item, but please comment down below and so let me know if you think that I'm miles off on my estimation. which has been known. So first off, we have and it's original wrapper, and it's a vintage car seat cover, made in China. No huge value. I would say you're looking somewhere in the region of a £5 for this. Not a particularly attractive colour. I'm not going to dwell on it too long. About a £5 worth there. Next up, we have what I think would have been a cigar box, probably used to keep knickknacks in or bric-a-brac. No value to it at all, really. A couple of pounds. You can actually still smell the tobacco from the cigars. Yeah, a couple of pounds worth, that's all. I haven't actually opened this, so I bought this blind. It's a contemporary light shade, and it's broken. So that will go into the recycling. No value at all. The moral of the story there is always check every item if you can. I did buy this as a job lot, so I was sort of fully prepared to lose on some of the items, and that's a good example. I can't sell that with the chip in it. So value-wise, 0. In fact, I'll put this in the recycling now. Right, so you win some and you lose some. Next out we have, I know what it is obviously, but didn't really check over it. It's a vintage doorstop. Value-wise, around £15. Cast iron, there's no maker's mark on it. Heavy, functional, attractive, decorative. It will sell, and you're looking at around that £15 mark. So I've hit my target there. Not my usual fare. It's a little studio made. Does have a puntil mark on the base, so it does have some quality. Now, a puntil mark is where the piece of glass has actually been snapped off the rod that it was attached to, the glass rod, when it was being produced. There's no chips or cracks in it at all. Is it Murano? As I said, glass and ceramics are not my area of expertise. Got that weighty quality to it, so I will do some research on it. There's no mark other than the puntil mark on it that I can see. I will triple check with my jeweler's loupe or my magnifying glass, but date-wise, I'd probably put it at sort of 60s, 70s period, mid-century onwards. It's quite attractive, probably has a market. Value-wise, £10 to £20. That'd be my estimate. If you know better, let me know in the comments below. All right, these are quite interesting. I think there were 2 of these. Yeah. Now, at first sight, looks like bronze, doesn't it? If that was solid bronze cast studio piece, I think I'd have been properly ripping off the customer by only paying them £150, but it's not. I did check it when I took it, or before I purchased it, and I did explain to them that it's not bronze. And how do I know that? Well, you can see the coating. I'm not sure if it's this one or the other one, but I'll dig them both out. You can see the coating wearing off in certain places, pretty obvious places. So the base metal is some form of white metal. It's not brass or it's not ferrous, I don't think, although I can check it with a magnifying glass. And also a magnet for magnetic properties. Obviously, that would tell me straight away it's not bronze. Looking at it, there you can see on the mane of the horse, you can see where the coating, the bronze effect coating, has worn off. So you can see that there quite clearly. So that's how I knew instantly that it wasn't bronze. No signature on it, although there is a maker's mark, and it is made, surprisingly, in England. If you can see there, I don't know whether it will focus or not. There you go. It says made in England. Can't quite make out the manufacturer's name. So I will check it out with my jeweler's loupe or Magnifying glass. No, it's indecipherable. So what I will do is grab a photo of it and check it out on Google Lens. I'm sure I'll find it. As I said, value-wise, it may be worth around £10 to £20. It's quite decorative. It's got the detail that's undamaged other than the bit of wear on it. And there is, which always adds to the value, there is a pair of them. So as a pair, maybe around the £30 mark, I will check it out. And if I check it out before the next film, I'll let you know if I have an update on them. Now, one of the things I always say to the customer, and I know it's always at my risk buying the job lot, but if I do come across something that absolutely flies in value, in other words, I wasn't sure at the time, they weren't sure, I am honest and upfront, and I will go back to them and I will pay them the third of the profit. Because at the end of the day, I want to get recommended by them to their friends and family. So the last thing I want to be doing is, not that I would anyway, but the last thing I want to be doing is ripping off my customers. I've never done it so far, and I have no intention of doing that at all. So a pair of, it's metalware, a pair of decorative bronze effect horses with handlers. In the, I would call this the classical style as well. So that sort of Roman Greco period in style, obviously not in age. And what I will do as well, here's the magnet test to check the ferrous content. And there's absolutely zero magnetic properties. So the white metal base is probably something like an aluminium, or could well be aluminium, actually. That's what I think it is. So that 100% confirms that there's no steel or ferrous content at all. If you're enjoying watching this video, please help to promote the channel by liking, commenting and subscribing. Next out we have, and again, it's not really my scene at all, but it just came as part of the job lot, light shade. I can't see a barcode on it, which would date it from the 80s, that sort of period. It's heavy. I think it's got some quality. But the problem I've got is I don't like shipping glass at all because of the risk of damage at breaking in transit. And Vintage Cash Cow don't take glass. They're not interested in glass for the same reason, probably. So I'm kind of stuck with this a little bit. So I'll probably end up putting this into a local pop-up auction. If I can get a fiver for it, that's probably about as good as it'll get. And if I can clear a fiver on it after I've paid the commission, the seller's commission and the lot fee, then I'll be more than happy. Kind of would have got me money back on it then. Right, there's one more item left in this tub. And it is waste tub. Oh, here it is. It is a knackered old family Bible. And it is knackered, unfortunately. They're not worth a great deal anyway, to be quite honest with you. How do I know it's a family Bible? Because it says on the spine, there you go, the National Family Bible. Date-wise, I would put this at the late 19th century, early 20th century. Unfortunately, it has lost, well, the front page comes off, the front cover, sorry, comes off completely. Quite often they have a description, some kind of descriptive texting on the front page, perhaps with the names of children that are born or marriages and so on, just to keep a family record before we had the internet. And in this occasion, because I think those sheets are missing, gone, nothing. So that really decreases the value. So this isn't really worth much more than a fiver, in my opinion, anyway, Dan. What I do have is if you look at the front page here, it's got the brass, nice little brass embellishment there, and I have got the other one. Yeah, I would say that was the clasp that goes across the top of the Bible. There you go. There's no date in it at all to confirm the age of it. I suppose I'm saving it at the moment from the landfill, but whether it will ultimately end up in the landfill, I don't know. I mean, I think that's the best way to describe this. I'm not going to put a Bible in the bin. I'm not going to do that anyway. A little bit superstitious about that, I suppose. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would you just sack it off and bin it? I think this will end up, because Vintage Cash Cow don't take books. The Bible is a book, whatever you might think of it. I think it will end up in a pop-up auction, and if I get a $5 for it again, I'd be more than happy. I know in the remaining subs there is some quite interesting bits and pieces in there, and I will try and get these films out a bit quicker than I normally do, just so you don't lose track of what we're doing here. So all in all, not a lot of value at all. If I've got around £50 worth of value in that, probably not even that, I would say I've probably got 10, 20, 30. Yeah, if I've got about £50 worth of value in total in that tub, that would be it. Certainly won't be any more than that. I'll be lucky to get that. So not the best of starts. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, share and subscribe, and I hope to see you back for the second part of this little mini-series featuring the second tub. As ever, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.